So I just wanted to do a little part two of this video I did yesterday. This guy Matt Rice I looked at. There are a couple of things I didn't notice um, on the video. Now I did notice there were no comments, and I thought, why aren't there any comments? Because I thought if this guy had actually died in hospital, then there would have been comments, and it just would have got left. You know, the channel just would it would have been like a dead channel, so to speak. And then I noticed that what's obviously happened, that people were commenting on it, and then he's deleted the comments, and he's left a little thing below Matt Rice, and he's written medical medium, which is this thing that he was into, this regimen, some kind of health regimen that he was doing, that he keeps talking about in the video. And he's written, block capital letters, do not give me health advice. Right, this is a guy who's in hospital with tubes up his nose. Do not give me health advice. And then in brackets, comments are turned off because all people seem to want to do is judge and give health advice and not just shut up and listen. These are people who are showing compassion towards him. I mean, this is like, he continues, it's abundantly clear that I follow medical medium, and you'll have to learn how to carry this great burden with you. Maybe buy some of his books and educate yourself. Now I found this guy's channel, this medical medium, this Anthony guy that he's talking about, and it's just like within 30 seconds, it's like fucking scam alert. He's trying to sell a juicer. He's talking about, oh, this special juicer. I'm selling this special juicer. Clapping his hands, pointing down below, like and subscribe, reading off a script, constantly looking off to the right, looking at what he's got written down on a piece of paper, giving health advice, but he's just reading off a piece of paper like he's Googled some shit to make himself sound like he knows what he's talking about. In a kitchen with loads of vegetables behind him, flogging this juicer. Oh, this juicer, this juicer produces more juice than other juicers. I mean, how the fuck could you quantify that? And you can get it at this discount. Go blah, 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 doing all this scam alert. And this guy is totally bought into it. It's extreme. I find it extremely disturbing. And this guy, like, he's literally looking like he's on his deathbed with tubes up his nose in a hospital, singing the praises of medical mayhem, medical medium, and talking about drinking blackberry juice, blueberry juice, like he's doing everything right. Anyway, I just want to carry on a little bit with this.
Nothing since what I started doing in 2020. But it's been kind of scary what's developed. I don't want people to be afraid, you know. I'm here because I have to be here. Believe me, I put it off for a long time. Like, I didn't want to have to come here because I knew I was going to have to battle and do some fights about things like blood draw, you know, and that's not fun. Anybody who's ever had to go through that, and you're really chronically ill, and you're really sick, and they want to take like 12 vials of blood, after listening to Anthony's Blood Draw Apple podcast, and what he's written about it, dude, actually go through it yourself, it is really hard because you're standing up for yourself, but they're kind of looking at you like you're a fool, like you don't know you don't even know what's good for you, like you're an idiot, and they just keep trying to cut you down like you don't even know what you're talking about, and you just gotta stick to your guns. I know it's really uncomfortable, and you just gotta tell them, like, you know, you just gotta stick to your guns.
It's just like he's dying.
Like they can maybe take half vials. They say it's impossible. I'm lucky because I actually had a girlfriend once who worked at a blood lab, and the things she said would go on in there, it's kind of like the Wild West, you know, and you don't need that much blood. You don't need it. They don't use that much blood. They get their little panel. What do they do with all the rest of it? They just throw it away. Yeah. Or they put it in some other mystery box to go somewhere else. You gotta listen to his Blood Draw podcast.
Anthony.
At Apple Podcast. You gotta listen to that.
This is like this other guy I was listening to the other day talking about these parasocial relationships where you start believing that this person on the internet is your friend. Now, I don't know if he's met this Anthony guy. He was talking earlier on in the video like he'd met him. And after looking at this Anthony guy's videos, I think what he's doing some sort of like consultations, like a health consultation. This medical medium thing. Oh, by the way, medical medium who's got 322,000 subscribers. 322. Where have I heard that name before? Just a coincidence. But it's like this you know, he's totally sold on this guy, Anthony. Earlier on in the video, he says, Anthony gave me the green light to eat as much sugar as I wanted, as much fruit and honey. Anthony gave me the green light. I was so happy. I couldn't believe it when Anthony gave me the green light to eat as much sugar as I wanted. This guy who's just fucking scamming him online. And he's like bought into this thing. He's lying on what looks like his deathbed. And he's still talking about his podcast and how he's got to stick to his guns. Because the nurses and doctors in the hospital who are trying to keep him alive, they don't understand about medical medium. This is fucked up.
It's gotta be half vials. Because when they just keep pulling, and you know, they're gonna want even more. Yeah, they took 12 today, then they're gonna want to take 4 more the next day, and who knows how much more the next day. It's like, you think I have an infinite amount of blood? You think all those white blood cells, all my immune system, you think that just pops right back into existence after you take it?
His body's shutting down.
Like, oh, it'll come back after a day. Just have a cookie. Just have a cookie. It'll come back. Just have a cookie. Doesn't work like that, man. It could take weeks. It could take months to get that back. You're definitely not getting it back as quick as you're taking it away. Let's put it like that. People die. Anthony has said this. He said it's the most unnecessary, sad thing, one of them, that he's ever seen, is people literally being killed from having too much blood taken from them.
Are these people in the care of Anthony who are dying?
Sicker from having so much blood drawn. They're like, oh, they're getting sicker. Well, we should take more blood to find out what's going on. And take more blood. More of the person's immune system is sucked away from them. They get even sicker. They're like, oh, we should do some more blood panels. And, you know, get some more labs done. It's like, and Anthony's like, look, I want people to get their labs done, but you have to look out for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to stand up for yourself.
You have to take care of yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. This is a man who was earlier in the video. He got bed sores. He's in bed with bed sores, and he said going to the toilet is like climbing Mount Everest. I didn't even notice yesterday. If you listen carefully, it sounds like he's got emphysema. The way he's breathing, really shallow breathing. He's just stuck on this. Anthony says this. Anthony says that. I'm doing medical
yes,
medium.
I have had to do that here. And it's uncomfortable. I don't like being in situations like that, where I'm like basically doing battle with doctors and nurses who are absolutely convinced they know more than I do. I'm sure they do in a lot of ways. You know, yeah, they did go to college. They did go to school. They do, and they do have a lot of experience under their belt. This is their job. They're medical professionals. But when somebody like me just stands up and is like, you gotta draw a line in the sand somewhere. You know, they just kind of look at you like you have 10 heads. Like you don't even know what you're doing. All you're doing is making it hard for them to help you. It's like, man, look.
But that's the truth.
I'm cooperating here. You know, I've been in so much pain. It's not even just that I can't breathe. There's a lot of pain associated with this. Severe pain. And, you know, coming here and finally, you know, being able to get some pain medication, which is like a gift from God, really. They're doing God's work when they can relieve that kind of pain. You know, I really needed it. I really, really needed it. But
this is probably like what he's describing, looking at the state of him. It's like what's likely happening is his body is shutting down now. Because he's been eating vegetables and fruit and doing this regimen for years, and his body's just shutting down. The organs are shutting down. Everything is just going.
You know, I'm cooperating. Yeah, I did start taking some of their antibiotics through IV. I started taking some of their IV steroids. They want to give me a couple Tylenol, I would do that. They want to give me a couple potassium pills, I would do that. Like, this is stuff I would never dream of doing 9 months ago. Never dream. But when you're in a situation like I'm in, it's like, okay, I concede. You know, I'm cooperating, I'm doing everything you're telling me, but you gotta meet me halfway. You gotta meet me halfway on this blood thing. Half vials. I got a really good nurse in here who really listens. Thank God. And she hooked me up. She went and talked to the blood lab people and talked to my doctor, and they agreed to half vials. They did. So it's like chopping your blood work in half, and they still get all the information they need. And I think they don't even need vials. I think they could get everything they need from just 1/2 vial. You know. But, you know, I'm doing everything the best I can over here. You know, I'm really taking care of myself, so, you know, lemon water, lots of honey. I got my blueberry juice, I got my hibiscus and rosehip tea here.
Can you imagine what state this guy's mind is in?
Coming to me.
Smoothies.
I have wonderful people taking care of me.
He's doing everything right.
At least I'm not eating anything terrible. You know.
What he should be doing, eating something. Eat some fucking bacon.
So That's the situation I'm in.
His teeth are falling out. You wouldn't be able to get it down. His body would probably just reject it at this point.
Doing my best. There's a lot going on in the world. Anthony has predicted it.
Oh, for fuck's
He's
sake.
prophesied this for his whole life. He's prophesized about this. This wave of chronic illness that's coming. A lot of these viruses are made in labs. And then now suddenly we have this controversy with gain of function research. And the way Anthony's talking about it, it's not a new development. Gain of function. Maybe that specific terminology is new. To take a somewhat docile virus, at least to humans, in terms of,
What he's talking about is Anthony. It's like he's talking about his guru, like Osho or something. Sri Ramajan, blah 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 blah, says this, says that. I mean, this is just fucking messed up.
Contractability. It might be aggressive in animals, but it's not jumping to humans so much. And even if you put it in a human, it's like it doesn't know what to do. So gain of function is to give it that function. It's to genetically tinker it so that it does harm people and can be contracted between people. I cannot think of a more dangerous realm of research. It is just insane what these people are doing. It's like playing around with plutonium in a bathtub, thinking you're gonna figure something out. It's that dangerous. It's that stupid. I don't care how much of a scientist you think you are, man. You are stupid playing with stuff like that. Anything gets out. It could so easily just destroy the world. Throw the world into total chaos. And I don't think it was just one strain that got out. I think there were multiple strains. I'm very suspicious that I got one. Nobody just gets pneumonia like this.
Blaming everything but his diet.
Even my pulmonologist, my lung doctor, he has no idea what this is. He's never seen anything like it. There's lots of scarring. I think it's viral, but that's just me. I think it was very, very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. And my body was already dealing with so much, getting off of this kick from clogging my liver with, crappy food for 2 years. So my body was already kind of in a weak place in dealing with stuff. I was already trying to bounce back from that. I already did have COVID. Oh, hey, I gotta go.
So that's the last video he's put up, and I just noticed here that was on the 27th of January 2023, so it's 13 months ago, almost to the day. So this is what happens to people when you follow these health gurus, these health regimens. You get it in your head. Blueberry juice, lemon water. Imagine you think you're getting anything from that. That you'll literally, I'm assuming this guy has passed on. I can't see him coming back from this. I was thinking last night, it's somewhat similar to, the B.F. Skinner, the psychologist or scientist, psychologist, whatever he was, in the 50s, and he did all his experiments with the dog, the Skinner box, the Pavlov's dog, Pavlov, and then B.F. Skinner, he had the pigeon in the box, operant conditioning, classical conditioning, and they did another experiment at some point with a rat, and the rat had like electrodes in its brain, wired up, and if it hit a certain button or lever, it would stimulate a pleasure centre in its brain to such an extent that the rat would be starving to death and it wouldn't eat food. It would rather press the lever that was stimulating its pleasure centre. And you can see an example in the human world, where in Seoul, I believe it was, you had the story of the couple who were playing video games. They were so addicted to their video game that the baby was starving to death. The baby starved to death because they wouldn't feed it because they're playing video games. And apparently that's true, that story. Some people say it's a hoax. It's the same thing going on here. It's just this regimen. Medical medium, blueberry juice, vegetables. It's all the good stuff. Even though he's lying in a hospital bed, he's breaking down, turning into a skeleton. Like he's got emphysema. Like they're coming along, obviously taking blood, and what the fuck's going on with this guy? What are his levels like? I don't know what else to say.